Good morning. I Something I'll never get used to, I suppose, and I need to learn some radical acceptance about is the headaches. uh, Here we are, 3:30 a.m., 4 o'clock, 4:30 a.m. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I'm always up early, and and today is no exception. I woke up and here we go again. Another headache. And the way it was described to me is that these headaches are part and parcel of the experience. That it's a shift. It's a DNA change. It is, um, you know, I've heard a lot of different ideas about what the headaches are. Um, and I've heard people talk about ringing in their ears. I've heard about people being nauseous. The uh, the sleep patterns being dramatically affected, and we all seem to be waking up at the same time every morning. you know, whatever time zone we're in. Um, and I have found a great deal of peace and serenity and inspiration in those early morning hours. It's a very nice thing, but the headaches, man, whoa, gosh, they some with the radical acceptance that I'm referring to about headaches. I accepting that for example, in a very practical sense, you break your arm and it hurts. You got a headache. But you know that once the arm is reset, it's going to heal. And there's a certain amount of discomfort or dis-ease in recovering or healing or in the process. Sometimes you gotta walk through coals to get to the other side, and it's not a pleasant experience. But to embrace that wholeheartedly from the spirit, to embrace it and realize that as annoying as a headache can be, it's almost right up there with a toothache. Something kind of hard to ignore. Um, but embrace that discomfort or that disease as a validation of, and that's how I choose to see it. If I talk the talk, I got to walk the walk. And this is the way. Um, the whole 3:30 a.m. thing, I cannot 3:30, 4:30, 4:20. It's I can't believe the peace and quiet at this hour. I'm somewhat near um, there is a turnpike too far from me. And during the daytime hours, go outside, open the door, and I can hear it. There's something so conducive to the thought process, the opening when it's quiet, and I love it. I love it. Um, I've been considering something, and I have, if I'm going to be like, just put it out there and be completely honest, this process for me is very new. I watch other people on YouTube, and I've read some books and things, and there's there's a lot of people with a lot of time, and I recall going in. I got sober in 2001, and I remember sitting there in the early days, always trying to project myself into wellness, a wellness that I hadn't worked for. And, I was a year sober and I wanted 5 years. I wanted to know people move, wanted to feel I was still only at a year into the process of becoming sober. And I found that this spiritual that I'm encountering is much the same way. I hear people talking about certain things that do resonate with me. Like, "Well, that makes sense." That like there's a certain taste to what they're doing that's genuinely resonates, and it's exciting. It's a simply, but at least that's how I'm finding it. And one of the biggest challenges that I found or have found so far is, what is my purpose? That the awakening to self and becoming self-aware, and what for the group. Um, am I a thumb? Am I a big toe? Am I? I don't know. It's kind of funny because I did some research into my name, and it basically, in my name, Scott, translates to the I'm going to take, but my name translates to, and I want to get this right because it it trans. I don't know if this is going to show up right, but I don't know if that's gematria. It was a thing that I came through, and it basically um, translated to the lowest slave, alarming perfect consciousness, or making perfect consciousness aware. Um, Whether I put much stock in that or not, the jury's still out. Let's just put it there. But who am I in this journey of self-awareness? Um, and that occurred to me is, what is my gift? What purpose? And as far as I've come in my journey of sobriety and being clean, um, there one of my teachers, and a couple of teachers, and in AA or 12-step programs, they would refer to them as a sponsor. But there was one of these sponsors who really wasn't affiliated with AA programs. She was herself. So she found her identity in very non-mainstream 12-step ways, non-12-step ways. She spent a lot of time in the Midwest with and I don't know what nation it was, indigenous people. Very a beautiful older woman. Um, did pass, but that she taught me, let's tax, and how do I come to some level of, and the way that it may, excuse me, The way that it was described to me is it was suggested that I could people who I admire. The practice should that I come up with 10 different people that moment to think about it and what out thing 10. If you come up with 5, that's great. Come up with 3, that's great. Whatever it is to you. So 10 people, let's say, and consider what it is about their that you admire. They might be particularly compassionate. They might be generous. Might be um, of those characteristics, and take some time with it. Don't. Um, but consider all the in other people, and let that sit with you for a minute. And that we cannot recognize something that we ourselves do. Think about that for a minute. How do you know what compassion is? If you saw someone on the street being compassionate, but you didn't know what it was, you'd probably for empathy of those things. That's because I within us. True story. Now, my only not only anything when I say minimizes, rope it back in. Uh, um, these things that I a lot of what I was experiencing awakening process. It's still not I haven't rang the I'm there. It's a daily, but it was a very useful exercise, that I admire. What is it that I respect? What honor to in other people? Things them. And I hope that you understand that you yourself are love. You are this is who you are. That is who you are. The things that you see in other people that resound with you, that resonate with you, that impress you, or you find at those. That is that is what you have to share with. Strangely enough, my my headache's still, but it's fading. It's a good feeling. Very much. I hope ever you have a blessed day when you're challenged. You when you're given an opportunity to be compassionate. And that's all I got for today.